Hello and welcome to this tutorial where I'm going to be showing you how to create stop motion videos. First of all, I'm just going to quickly show you one that I made previously. That video was only 8.2 seconds long and consisted of 40 photos. However, the length does vary depending on the image duration. Now the question is, how do I make a stop motion? Well, I'm going to go through a step-by-step guide. Step 1, you need to choose a topic. Now there are loads of topics you can choose, but toys generally are a very good thing to do, such as vehicles or action figures. Step 2, you need good lighting, so make sure you've got a good light source, but make sure that when you're taking the photos, you're not blocking that light source, because otherwise you'll get shadows. Step 3, an image background. Now surprisingly, plain backgrounds work really well with stop motions. However, you can also have a suitable background for your topic. For example, if you're going to have tractors like I did, you could have the tractor in a field or in a farmyard, so you're not limited to just a plain background. Step 4, the camera and the camera mount. Now obviously you're going to have to keep the camera still for this, so ideally you would use a tripod, but if you don't have a tripod then you'll have to try and find something which you can safely attach your camera to and it won't move when you're taking each photo. Now if you are lucky enough to have a digital SLR camera, then you can buy an accessory for it which is a remote control, and it means that you can take photos without having to touch the camera, meaning that you will not have to worry that you're going to knock the camera when you take each photo. So once you're ready, set your camera up to where you want it to be, whether it's on a hard surface or on a tripod, and then make sure, although it sounds obvious, make sure that it's in focus. So if you're using manual focus, then obviously you'll know to set that up, but if it's in autofocus, then sometimes the light can mess with it, so just double check that it is definitely in focus before you start, because you don't want to do all that work and then find out that all of it is out of focus. So like I said, it sounds obvious, but just double check that. So once you're happy and you've set everything up, then you can start taking your pictures. So you can see I've got everything laid out here, and every time I press that button on the remote and the light comes on, I'm taking a photo. So I've taken one photo, I'm now moving everything forwards, and I can then take the next photo. So that's the next photo done, and then I can move everything one step forwards again. And then when you've done this as many number of times you want, then all of your photos will come together when we put them in the editor, and it will look like it's actually moving by itself. So you can then use a video editor of your choice, and for this I'm using Video Studio Pro X6 Ultimate Edition, and the reason I'm using that is because it actually has an integrated stop motion function, which means that you can just import all your photos together, it will combine them, and then you can just save and it'll all be in your timeline. So I'm going to go to capture here, and then you'll see it says here stop motion. And then you can, if you want to, record off your digital SLR camera or camcorder, but for this I'm not, because I've already taken all the photos. So I'm going to import it, so you need to click import if you're going to do it this way, and then you need to go to the location on your hard drive where all of your pictures have been saved to. So I'm going to select all my photos and then click OK, and you'll see they're importing. Now the time it takes for the photos to import will depend on how many you've actually taken. So you can see that they're all here now in this timeline, and you can change the image duration. Now this is basically the length of time that your stop motion will go on for. So it defaults to 5 frames. The less you have, obviously the quicker it will be, and the more you have, the slower it will be. So if, for example, I put it to 10 and press play, you'll see that it's showing more frames at a time. So it's being a lot longer. It's showing it all. But if I was to drop that right down to 5 frames, or 4 frames in fact, I'll do 4 frames, and press play again, you'll see it's a lot quicker, it's a lot faster paced. So once you're happy with that, I'm going to save it as 5, and then you click save, and then just so you don't get confused here, the save button just basically disappears. You have to press exit and then go back into edit. So you then go to the area here where it saved it to, depending on which library folder it put it in, and you can see that mine has gone to here. So when we drag that into the timeline, you'll see that my stop motion has successfully been created, and then that is basically all there is to it. So hopefully you found this video useful. If you have, then please stay tuned for more like this in the near future.